of isn't that Dolly? Isn't that Dolly so beautiful? Isn't I'll have to do it now. I can't. I can't do it. Yeah, I can do it. She's lovely, isn't she?
Of course she is.
Well,
She's very beautiful inside as well. And our
oh, am I showing
experience
her
are
address there anyway? There it is,
are
Dolly.
very similar. That's why I thought if we would get her on today, we could talk about similar stuff because that's never happened before. We've talked about it privately, but we've never talked about similar stuff
Well,
where
could you
ET.
send her a text or something? Can you
Yes.
multitask or something?
Yeah, I did,
La-
darling. Look, she's
Ladies and gentlemen, we're
nailed.
having a bit of the preamble part of a very
Yeah.
serious discussion here, or we're just going to have a bit of a chin wag. And did you know? Okay, if you proceed with doing that, no, sending
About
Dolly
Dolly
a
and
message on something.
I
I think
just
she's
did,
still
darling.
in
Check your
bed.
mail. She probably is. She's probably has fallen asleep, waiting for us. She probably, I don't know.
Well, it's only 11:15 p.m. here.
Okay.
It's still Thursday the 20th here.
Yep. I'm in the future, so it's Friday morning
You
here.
Friday morning. You're in the Chinese zone.
And Australia exists, okay? I'm sick of hearing this, right? That's just silly. What's this? Does Australia exist? Of course I bloody exist. Isn't that silly?
Did I
You
say
heard
that
that?
Australia didn't exist?
No, you didn't, but some other people have. I keep hearing. I was like, what do you mean? Does Australia exist? Of course we bloody exist. But yes, we are in the Chinese.
I
Yes,
mean, do you
China
know
is.
about that?
Well, no, I don't.
The
Does it sound
new
silly?
the new world order map that people are ignoring.
Oh,
Stuart Sverdlow was talking about this with Laura Eisenhower.
I thoroughly believe that. And I think that's part of disclosure is realizing that there are stargates here, wormholes, tunnels, portals, whatever you want to call it. Some of the ships are coming through, not all of them, but some of them are coming through. And I think the military really has got maybe control or maybe fighting over some of these and who can come in, who can't, that kind of thing. I think maybe Iraq, Iran, that kind of thing. Maybe there might be that going on behind the scenes. I woke up one day and I had these funny marks on my body and I was going through these
Such as
crazy experiences. Well,
explain.
I've shown you in our last, if anyone wants reference, go back to the other video I did with Miles in the Bases series where I actually showed photos of the marks that was left on my. It takes so bloody long to get into my phone and find it, but it was like I am. It was a triangle, purple, and it was dots, right? But they weren't piercings.
Are you talking about
It
three
wasn't.
dots?
No, I'm talking about a row of dots there and a row of dots and a row of dot there, and a little ET going hi. But it was my lab. It was this trying to get me confused, it was a psychological warfare thing that was happening. There was
Explain all
crazy
that. Okay,
stuff.
slow down. Explain it.
Okay. Okay. One incident was, right, because at the time I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know about my lab. I didn't realize, I
You
didn't know what
still
the
don't
word
know what's
was.
going on.
Years later, at least I went to Misha Johnson, had a regression, and then she
Misha
filled me in with a
Johnson,
lot.
fantastic
And
woman.
fantastic woman. And I got a lot of info from that. But the crazy stuff was silly stuff like the movie Signs, where the kid has got the little thing, and he's like, using the baby monitor, and suddenly all these ET noises come through with the baby monitor. Well, that exact
Sorry,
same sound.
explain that. You're a wee bit rushed on that.
Well, the sound is like click, 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 and the kid in the movie is saying, use the baby monitor, and he hops on the car to try and get the signal, right, from the hearing stuff. Same sound effect came through my TV one day, and we were all laughing and then joking about tinfoil hats and stuff like that. Basically, it was the same things were happening, all as Close Encounters of the First Kind. Yeah, but it was slow and insidious. Like not all of my electrical equipment all fell apart all at once. It was like it was synchronized. this went down, that one down, that one down, that one down. Then the bills ran up, like internet bills mysteriously ran up. And then all these accidents started happening. And then
Explain.
there were, oh, um,
Tell us all about it.
well, I don't really want to go into that. It was really traumatic, actually. There was an incident where
Well,
I
there's no
was,
way that I would invite you to re-traumatize yourself by going through the experience
yeah,
again for the
there was,
purposes
yeah,
of
there was,
public
yeah, there was,
entertainment.
yeah, exactly. Just there was trauma, and it was a psychological thing of things happening in my house that I didn't realize what was going on. And then one day I wake up with these strange marks, and I'm like, what is going on here? But they weren't puncture wounds and they didn't scab over, Miles. That's what was really weird about them. They were just bruised purple dots like this, and then an imprint of a man's
No, I
of
mean, I'm
a
interested in this because I had a lot of
right.
triangular ones here. I had about three sets of triangular ones on one hand, and that's
Have you
just
got
before.
anyone? Have you got any on your finger?
No, this was it took about 6 weeks to go.
This has been here permanently. It's faded
Yeah,
now, but it's
yes, that's what. Yeah, one exactly like that I had. Ladies and gentlemen, Nikki is being entertaining and informative.
I think someone's having a bit of a joke on me. I tell you, with that finger, that's funny, isn't it? Yeah, I am rushing a bit because it's such a long story. I mean,
Well,
like
go
like I
in
said,
for it. I mean, you've just got up,
well,
for God's sake. What's the point in getting up this early for you? 10 o'clock in the morning. Must be a bit early for you to get up at that time.
let me see if I can find the photo, okay? Because then
Is
if I
this a
can find
photo
the
of the
photo,
alien?
no, of the marks left on my body. Damn. Look, they're all in the other. People just have to go back. There's a whole bunch of photos that are in there, but anyway, look,
Okay.
the incidents were just designed to traumatize me into thinking that the aliens were trying to attack me and all this kind of stuff, and it wasn't. It was the military. I'm more concerned about them than I am the bloody ETs, except for the grey abductions. That's a different story, but um, yeah, and that's why I'm thinking, I got that feeling that I was in when I had my regression with Misha. I really did feel like I was in this expansive space. It was like I was in this setting, like a hospital setting, and I'm lying on some sort of gurney, and I see this tall, gorgeous looking, definitely engineered, beautiful looking man who looked like an Aryan in blonde hair, really no, he looked like a German and engineered, blonde, blue-eyed, square-jawed, Thor-looking 7.5, 8-foot guy that had a mask on and little tufts of blonde hair in here, with the most beautiful almond-shaped, huge
So
blue
he
eyes
so
and
he
long.
wasn't a Pleiadian then.
I don't know what he was, but I'm sitting there going like, man, you're just too cute to be a boy. I mean, he looks almost androgynous, right? But then when he
Well,
sat
who
down,
knows? He may be
I think he was
Pleiadian.
a clone. I think he was a clone, right? This is where I was getting with the clone thing. You know why? I looked down at his skin. Like Misha got me to look down at his hand. Look at his hand. What's he doing with the? And I went, this skin, Miles, it was like baby skin. I'd never seen like skin. Like we live in Australia. Everyone's got freckles. Everyone's got a mole or something like. Exactly. And this guy looked like he'd just been born. The skin, amazing. I could not believe it. I'd never seen skin like that before. And he was a grown man and his hand was huge, right? Right. So, but then behind that was all this lights and stuff like that in a hospital kind of setting. But behind that was really expansive. And I kept saying to Misha, it's deep, it's deep, it's deep. It's black, but it's so deep and so wide. And that's what I thought to myself, am I in a underground base? Am I in Pine Gap? Why else would they?
Was there paint like on the walls? I mean,
I
there's a
couldn't
certain
see.
style of way things are done at different eras.
I couldn't see any of that.
We
All
have
I
a
could see
we
were
have a
these
big
lights.
alien facility underneath Brighton General Hospital.
I think I think there
Big
is.
thing, about 6 layers down.
I think there's a base at Canungra base here, out at Nerang, on the Gold Coast, and I think I must have gone to that base because I actually performed at that base. Actually,
What do you mean you
I was doing.
performed at that base?
Well, I was a singer in a trio, and I actually had a gig there, so I actually got inside and saw it all, and went, "Wow!" Like it was
Now,
an
what
army base.
happened? That's that's often a way of just getting inside so they can do their.
Well, I don't think there was. I don't think it was that was a connection. It was just a coincidence that I happened to be there
No
and did a
such thing
gig
as
there.
coincidences,
Yeah,
Nikki.
I know that, but hang on, let me tell the story, right? So I do a gig there. I'm already awake. I had my Kundalini awakening at 40, right? So I'm looking at, and I'm saying to the military guy, now, what's the big dragon for? And he told me this story, and I went, yeah, you don't know jack shit. And then um about I think it was about 2 months later is when I woke up and I found all these strange marks on my body. And this is what I'm thinking. I think I might have been taken there to Cronulla and then tunneled straight out to Pine Gap. So uh and it's where they let off all the nuclear bombs, like 2000. Like, why did you guys let off so many bombs? Like, you don't need all that. Like, one would be enough, you know? Like, why? You know what I mean? It's just strange, you know. And then, yeah, but jiu-jitsu, right? The same energy back at them. Now, V2K, this is what I got. I woke up in the morning. They said, go outside, go and have a look at the moon, take a photo. Look at the towers on the moon. Look at the towers on the moon. Towers. Towers on the moon. This is from 2013 from an old iPhone. That's why
Oh,
it
it's an
looks a bit
iPhone.
blurry.
That's even worse.
If you saw this in real life, you would be able to see the color and
That's
those
because you
little
hadn't cleaned
things.
your glasses.
Damn, I clean them all the time.
What about the front
I'm
of the
gonna
phone?
I'm gonna send this photo to you so you can have a look at it.
I can see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's bleeding out a bit, but okay. So
God
yeah, I got a
Almighty.
V2, and that was before the negative one, and that was designed to sort of get my um confidence to listen to this V2K stuff. So
What
that's
did
what
it
I'm trying to
sound
say.
like to you? What did it? Can you say what it sounded like?
Oh,
Describe it.
so typical. It would just sound like voice of God. It sound like deep, rich, male, booming kind of voice. Go outside and take photos of the moon. What? All right. Click, click, click. Wow. Okay. So then okay, is that my higher self? Is that, what is it? Is it technology? You know, people need to start to discern. We're not getting any feeling or any telepathic knowing with these images. It's like cold and flat and boring and done
Explain.
before. Well, I go into my heart when I'm trying to work out, distinguish between which is what's real and what's not. Because as everybody knows now, AI is flooding everything, and I use AI to tell stories, so I'm using it as a positive medium.
You mean you can't
However,
make it up by yourself? You have to get AI to do it for you.
well, when I'm trying to create an alien, yeah, I need that kind of 3D rendering so people can get an
Oh,
idea
right.
about what we're visualizing and what's actually, what some beautiful ETs and these beings are. However, the telepathic thing and the feeling and that cognitive knowing usually happens a little bit before the incident, like before I see the spaceship in the sky or before I see something. And I feel like it's like my higher self is saying, look there or look there. And then teaching me the
Explain that.
different,
What was the feeling like when you got that to look?
like instant cognition. It's none of this in the mind. I rattle, rattle, round, 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 round. It's like, it's in the heart. It's like a boom. It's like I don't have to travel thing. It's like instant cognition, and it's a knowing. It's a knowing inside your heart. It's like when you're a mother and you just know your child. You know, I know my kids are in trouble, or I know when they've got a cold, or I know when they hurt themselves. I feel it. I feel that hurt and that pain too. And I'm like that with other people, and I'm really highly sensitive, and that's why I sometimes have to back off, because sometimes it can be just so bloody overwhelming and I get too emotional, too upset about it, and I have to kind of just back off because I'm actually feeling everyone, the whole world's pain, and that can be really, really overwhelming sometimes. So I've had to try and filter and discern the difference between when I get this full-on cognitive knowing of an image I know that I'm going to see, or a feeling that I know that this is going to happen. I don't know exactly what, but then when it's actually happening, it's kind of like a deja vu, and it's like, okay, I knew this was going to happen, and now it's happening, and that's that type of cognition when I know, okay, what I'm seeing right now and what I'm feeling is real, because I've been rumbling. It's been rumbling in my feet, and it's been giving me these tiny little signs of my extrasensory perception to point me into a direction where I need to see something at that particular time, whether it be negative or positive, it doesn't matter. It's just that my higher self is actually showing me something. So this is the only way that I can really discern from all the stuff out there and the flashing lights and everything like that. It's too much out there. It's got to go. We got to go back in here. And as soon as it hits you in the heart, it's like if someone's that you love and they get hurt, it hits you in here. You go, oh God, I felt that. It's kind of like that, but it doesn't hurt. It's more of a neutral feeling. And then I'll be like, okay, like I'll give you an example. For 10 years, I've been telling my family, come outside and see the spaceships. They're flying around in the upper atmosphere. You'll see the stars. They're just like they're moving around. And by the time they get out there, look up, gone, right? Finally, summer, hot night. I've got all my family in the pool. It's 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, so it's dark. So we're all lying in the pool looking up. And I don't see one. I see three flying around. So I grab my son.
Yeah, well, you'd have to see three. Anybody else would just see one.
Exactly, right? So I pull my son and on the water, and we're both lying, and I'm like, look, see it? See it? See it? See? He's like, oh, yes. I grab my mum, my daughter. Look, so the three of them all saw those three spaceships flying around the upper atmosphere, and I knew that was going to happen, and that was that direct cognition. And God, it was a relief. I'm like, finally, they're all looking at me a little bit different now. I'm not so crazy after all. Now they've had their own UFO experiences, and now things have become so much better with my family because they totally understand what the hell I've been bloody talking about all these years. Now they've had their own experiences, and I feel that when you think about them, that's when they start to show themselves to you. And then you start asking questions, right? So then you lead on to spirituality, find out what you've, about yourself, and it all comes back to yourself. So basically that's it, really. When people say, oh, the world doesn't revolve around you. Well, actually it does. You're the one who's creating your consciousness, and you take responsibility for that. That's how I look at it. And I've seen my radial body. I've seen what I look like from the inside of a sphere, like it's concave. No, it's convex somehow. So like I'm seeing a layer of this sphere inside myself, and I around myself, and I understand that I'm in a sphere, and there is no polarity, and that the only thing that's playing out in polarity is in the normal 3D normie world. That's how I look at it.
But you've said an awful lot of things there. Mike Emery would explain. He says it is inside. It's an internal perception.
I think once I go to the beach and I sit down and I've got all those bells and whistles gone, and I've got the round and round and round CD playing in your head all the bloody time, and get rid of that and just have some peace and quiet, that's when I start to and I'm sitting on the earth, I'm sitting on the sand, and the waves are cleansing me and energizing me. And I've always been like that. I always have to live near the beach because that's where I get a lot of my UFO.
But also the electron density of salty, sandy beach depolarizes a lot of the stuff that they use on you, so it doesn't work anymore.
it cleanses, and the breathing, and you go for a swim in the ocean, the minerals and everything like that. So it's about, I find when I get into that space, it's much easier to go into the heart, and the heart is where all the information is, because the head's just going left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. You know, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. It's like, oh, please stop, no. Breathe and just, and then whatever pictures come in your head, just look at them for what they are. They're not just imagination. They are something that's maybe your higher self is actually telling you to actually take the next step or the next direction, or just ask. And it comes to you in ways, you know, maybe a few days later, you'll get a little sign here there or synchronicity or whatever. You're like, okay, I'm on the right track.
And they did a very good Sapphire and Steel is a
Oh.
series. Sapphire and Steel is some very, very high level conceptual thinking episodes about things like that. Very, very good stuff.
Fabulous stuff. Well, let's get have it. Do you want to do another one with Dollie next time?
Yeah, well, why not?
We can talk about similar, because her experience is very similar to mine. Excellent.
But we'll go back to this.
Can
Why
you
don't
hear
we go
that
back to
grinding
this?
at the moment? Miles, can
Pardon?
you hear anything? Can you hear that grinding at the moment?
No.
Thank you. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah. I think I'm about to run out of battery, darling.
Oh, God. God, no.
I am.
Okay, Nikki, it's really
Yeah.
good to see you. It's just coming up to 1 o'clock here, so.
Woohoo!
And everything on
Yes.
Basis is now basistv.com, where the media is, and you can join that, subscribe for about $2.99, and the whole of the Basis project's going on that. And my entire history of pirate radio I shot in Ireland from 1982, I'm putting up on my website, of the raw history of one of the greatest, most exciting periods of broadcasting from the 1979 through till 2000, 1988, December 88, they took us all off the air. But a few of us kept going. Pirate
Yes.
radio, my history of pirate radio. And that's when I had hair.
Congratulations, because you've survived this long. I mean, that's fabulous.
Yeah, I'm getting as old as the feckin' hills here. Beginning to fall apart.
At least we all grow. Yeah, but we all grow old together, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, pat yourself on the back for lasting this long and going through all those experiences that are just bloody crazy.
Well,
and
that is when
frightening.
we discovered we could
Yeah.
do the impossible, putting on a 1.2 megawatt FM pirate station. Who on earth thought we could do that? So we have the power of manifestation. We can beat these
Yes.
bastards and wipe them out. They are not fit to be on this world, and the planet will not allow it either. There is
That's
an
right, that's
emergency.
another
The
thing.
planet has a defense system. I
Yes.
called it the EDS, the Earth Defense System, and it
Yes.
has a self-destruct system. It will purge this place, and that's active. And that's for the public record. It is active.
Well-
2 green lights on now. That system is active, and it will not have this destruction of organic life here by these whatever the hells they are. If they want to come through the front door and we can have a chat, they're going to do things through the back door by deception. They're gone. Back to wherever
right.
they come from.
Because Mother Earth is not putting up with the abuse of her children anymore.
Well,
That's a big one. man.
even Kimberly Gugan is saying this is a keystone planet. Very rare. Well, the other ones have not survived.
That's right.
So
We're still
until
here.
the next exciting episode
Da-da-da!
from
Entertainment
Silbury
purposes
Hill
only.
to Australia. Which part of Australia are you in, darling?
Near the Barrier Reef, Queensland.
Oh, the really nice part without the flies
Yes.
and the
Beautiful.
poisonous spiders, the deadly spiders.
Surface paradise. Well, name says it all. That's where I live. Surface
And
paradise,
how is the
man.
reef, Great Barrier Reef doing? Is it?
Stunning. Maybe not on the outside, but it's stunning. It's still there.
Well, that's great. You see,
Yeah.
move to Australia right now and you teach these bloody Australians how to speak some friggin' English
And you should do some
for
surfing,
entertainment purposes only. This is
darling.
episode. Yeah. Okay.